Yes, yes, y'all. Welcome in to episode 106 of the Dumb Marks Podcast, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. Back at it again, kicking it with your boys. Triple threat edition today. Chris, unfortunately, welcome to the COVID club. His streak finally ended. um, so he is out of commission this week. He will be back next week, but shout out to him, hoping he's feeling better and pushing through that bitch known as COVID. Um, how we living? We good? Everybody
Yes,
feeling
we are.
great today? Donald,
hmm
you got on your Tennessee colors. Big game today, LSU.
Yes, it is. Very big game.
Yeah, yeah. Jay, you going old school? You got a little. I don't know if you're bringing the attitude era today or if you're just wearing a Stone Cold shirt.
No, this is my Loot Crate shirt. They finally sent me something good. I'm gonna get my
Finally got your
backlog
money.
of boxes from COVID era.
You finally got your money's worth, huh?
This is like my 5th box in 3 weeks.
The back orders are starting to come through now. They got the supply chain fixed.
My sister's like, "Hey, you got a package?" I'm like, "I didn't order nothing." I gotta take my bank account, make sure they ain't charging me.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. That's one of them the reoccurring charges you forget about, and next thing you know, you're like 6 months in. Like, why's my paycheck light? Like, what's going on? So,
When was this contract?
Exactly. So yeah, today's show is going to be a little bit different, all right? Because I have to pull a Houdini hack somehow, and I need to be in 17 different places at once today with the amount of stuff that I have going on later on this afternoon. So this show is going to be fast and quick. We're going to pump this out like a 2-minute chump, get in and out, and it is what it is. Chime in, chatter along. We got a lot to get into, a lot to discuss.
Get yours on.
I mean, it is what it is sometimes. Like not everybody can go out there and pull out a Jordan flu game. Like sometimes you know what I mean. Fast and quick with my middle name. There you go. So yeah. With
It's
that
like
being
that,
said,
it's like that legendary sniper rifle with that one clap. I'm good.
right. Sometimes that's all it takes. That warm apple pie will put you out sometimes. So, anything pressing that we have to get into intro wise?
Nope.
I did have a good intro topic to discuss, but I'm gonna save it till Chris is on the show because with the 4 of us on, I think we'll get a wide range of opinions on it. So we'll save that till next week. And I'll explain that next week. So tease, look at that. I'm not even doing a tease to the next segment. I'm doing a tease to next week's show. Super professional right now. All right. Well, with that being said, let's jump into bell to bell because there was a shit ton of wrestling this week. Huh? All right, live at it. Look, we're 3 minutes and 45 seconds in. We're in
quickest intro ever.
Told you, 2-pump chump. We in and out. But this week in wrestling, man, you want to talk about wrestling fatigue can be real. Last night, by the time Battle of the Belts was on, it was roughly like 11:30, 20 to 12, and I think they were just getting ready to start the main event with FTR versus what is it, Gates of Agony. I crashed. I couldn't stay awake no more, man. I tapped out. I went to bed. And I didn't even get a chance to look at it this morning to see who won. Obviously, I know who won, but to see the reviews on the match itself. But man, what a hell of a week. I will say this, and we got Extreme Rules tonight. We're going to run through the pay-per-view card in itself in its whole. We'll break it down, give our predictions, match of the night. You know how we do, put shit out there. Later on in this segment before we hit a debate for this week. But I watched Bound for Glory last night, and it was my favorite show of the week, even though it was a pay-per-view. It's just a shame that like they don't have enough eyes on the product. It really is. Like, and I know their roster has tweeted out, well, there's ways to watch the product. There's ways to find the product. Like you can watch it on YouTube. You can do, but at the same time, not being on national television, it hurts because their roster is very good. They never disappoint in ring wise. Story wise, you can complain just like you can with any promotion. But last night's show, start to finish, was unbelievable. Jordan Grace, and I'm going to mispronounce her first name. I don't want to say it's Masha, but Masa Slamovich. Those two ladies, boy, they may have they probably had my favorite match of the week. Like that women's match. If you hate all women's wrestling, go watch that match. I guarantee you change your opinion because they were physical, laying their shit in. I mean, high risk moves. It was a battle from start to finish. Those two ladies unbelievably delivered last night. It was incredible what they did.
Yeah, I didn't know Bound for Glory was on until you texted in the group chat.
Yeah, I thought it was next week. I thought it was next Friday, and nope, it was this Friday. Because I normally they're in like the middle of October when they do Bound for Glory, so that's why my weeks were thrown off.
That reminds me, I got
Dave. There's no lie there, Dave. Their women's division, top to bottom, and they had 3 women's matches on the pay-per-view last night.
I've seen a little bit of Yim and Mickey James.
Yim and Mickey James was really good. The story in that match was good because if Mickey loses, her career is over. She's on this last rodeo ride, trying to climb the mountain to get a title shot at Tasha Steelz. They built that up tremendously. Mia Yim, word is she's not re-signing with Impact, so she's a free agent. Don't know where she's going to go. AEW could desperately use her in their women's division. WWE, with Triple H running the helm, she'll be used properly.
Yeah,
like she was in NXT, so she has options there. Yeah, but those two, they started off the night, and then right after their match, they went right into the next women's match. They gave you 2 back to back. So they put the tag team title match on next: Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie and Jessica. Taya and Jessica, formerly Havoc, they won. I didn't like the outcome. I would have rather seen Green and Purrazzo retain. But that match, again, 4 women that can work, that can go. Solid match. And then Grace and Slamovich, they were on before the main event, in the co-main event. And like I said, they had the match of the night for me. So it was hands down solid pay-per-view. Frankie Kazarian won the X Division Championship. So he's now a 3-decade champ. 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. He's held the X Division. So he's like the Vince Carter of Impact Wrestling.
Still hanging around.
I didn't know he was over there.
No, me neither.
Well, AEW's not using him, so might as well, like, if you're going to do something with him, then do something with him.
Yeah.
And he went step for step with Speedball, Mike Bailey. And that was the opener. They set the tone. They set the pace for the show. From there on out, it was, hey, you got to bring your level up to match us, which we know, as we talked about on this show, number 1 spot. That's what you do. Set the tone for the night. And then, like I said, after that, it was everything you could have asked for. Surprises. You had Legends Return. I know, Donald, it'll turn you off, but Bully Ray won the Call Your Shot gauntlet match, so he now can call his shot for any title.
Here we go. Here we go.
They teased him and Alexander at the end of the show to close the show. But yeah, it was a fitting night. Raven got inducted to the Hall of Fame. I think all in all, like if you tell a fan of wrestling that either has not watched Impact or just thinks they're TNA, whatever, you sit them down and say, watch this show, they'll become a fan of Impact Wrestling again. If you bring a non-fan that doesn't watch wrestling into this show, I think you may hook people to make them into fans. Like, that's how good the show was, top to bottom. So for me, that was my show of the night last night, where there were 4 shows on from 8 o'clock to midnight. So that's the little Impact recap for you there. There's so much to get into with AEW. we'll save off WWE because we're going to run through the predictions.
Yeah.
Wednesday night kicked off not the way that they would have wanted it to. You had the Days of Our Lives soap opera continue with Sammy and Andrade having a backstage tussle. Andrade got sent home. Sammy remained in the main event. The entire night, there were reports that, Sammy threw punches and this and that, and why'd he stay and not get sent home? Jericho went to bat for his boy. He's in Tony Khan's ear, this and that and the other. By the end of the week, more stuff started to come out, and it was AEW was aware of what they were going back and forth on Twitter for. They sat them down the night before. They talked to both of them in a room at the same time. They said there would be no fighting. And then Andrade allegedly threw the first punch, broke it up, and that's why he got sent home. Now, rumor is he's trying to get fired so he can go back to WWE. And this was his way to try to get fired. I don't know if it's true or not, whatever the case may be, but
how do you not keep those guys separate?
I mean,
like, look,
yeah,
you're in a big ass building. You stay over here. You stay over here.
Yeah. Or they knew about everything like before the show. Don't even let them in the building.
Show up Ty's quote there.
Yeah.
Chiming in to start the show. Unbelievable. But yeah, like why? Like I mean, why not just send both of them home for the week?
Yes.
Like I know you had, I know you had the main event set, but like you sent Andrade home, so you canceled his match against 10. Granted, it was on Rampage, but Rampage was live this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like it was taped. Rampage was live, which transitioned into Battle of the Belts. So I don't know. It's just like I'm so over the behind the scenes backstage stuff. And my problem with it was it took away from a great match between Yuta and MJF. So nobody was talking about the match. Everybody was talking about Sammy and Andrade on the timeline live.
Mm-hmm.
So you're hurting your product. But you can't keep your behind the scenes stuff straight.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they're trying to get out of the whole elite CM Punk stuff.
Right.
And what they do, jump back in on some drama.
Or you
and
just
what's this, like Sammy's like fourth time or something? Getting in trouble? Like doing something backstage.
You can make this your new gimmick.
It was like, what? Like Nathan said earlier, it was like Sammy turned into new HBK from the Attitude Era.
Yeah, but it's like, so if we go back to the beginning, 3 years of Dynamite, right? If we go back to the beginning, that first show, the first match was what? Sammy and Cody?
Yep.
So Cody handpicked Sammy to go on with him. He's talked about it numerous times. That was the light shining on Sammy to showcase him at the beginning of the show. How did that show end? The inner circle forming.
Mm-hmm.
Who was in the inner circle? Sammy.
Yep.
So
Low blow and Cody.
You bookended your very first pay-per-view establishing Sammy Guevara as a guy, right? He's been called a pillar, everything else. But you want to talk about somebody that has torpedoed his popularity.
Yeah.
That man has torpedoed his popularity in 3 years.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because, like, is it the fact that he's cocky, good-looking, arrogant, can go in the ring. He got a hot wife, like, botched a proposal that ended an engagement and then married somebody else 2 months later. Like,
boys with Jericho, they're jealous.
Like,
I think it's a combination of everything, in ring and then like the off stage, the out of work stuff, your personal life.
It's just so much with him, and it like. Because he should be your number one babyface right now.
Mm-hmm.
No,
and he's just
no
behind
he doesn't
enemy
have that.
lines. Like
They ruined that real quick. The babyface run. I don't think you can go back.
yeah, they
Who
thought
was?
him and Ty would be great because she was popular babyface. Like,
Yeah, fans loved her.
and that was a hard U-turn on that couple. As soon as they came out, fans shit the bet on them and ruined it. So, but yeah, so you took away from your opening match, and that just led in through the rest of the night where I don't even know how many people were actually watching the show because they were too busy trying to be online picking up the gossip shit.
Mm. When TMZ reports.
There's such a thing as negative popularity because he's the most talked about person in wrestling. I mean, that goes in, that's not just wrestling, that's anything, right? They say no bad, or what is it? No press is bad press, or however the line goes, right? That can be true to a point where it's either your company or you, like, there's diminishing returns at some point to where you stop making money as a company because of the bad PR and the bad press and things turn on you, or in wrestling where it's like the fans, they don't care about you no more. You're getting booed and everything else. Now, wrestling's a little bit different because you can turn that into a heel gimmick and run with it and draw some money on it if you're going up against the right babyface.
Yeah, if you're good enough.
But I don't know if Sammy's good enough, one. And two, I don't know if I trust AEW to tell that type of story because they haven't told stories. So was the wrestling from AEW this week good to great? Yeah, it's always good to great.
Mm-hmm.
But how much of the 3 shows they put on last night were you actually interested in? Like, Jay, I know you used to watch WWE just wrestling for wrestling's sake. You're going to watch it. But does that AEW doesn't have a 40-year head start of building in a fan base? It's going to make them watch wrestling just to watch wrestling.
Yeah, I can't sit and, like, because I'm not as much of a fan, I can't sit and watch them wrestle just to wrestle because I'm not invested in the characters, you know.
And that's a problem that they need to get sorted out on their end of things. So I don't know. It just that threw off all of Wednesday night. From that standpoint, I think there were some questionable decisions, booking wise. I hated what they did with Brian Cage. You just throw him out there after being off TV for months to feed him the Wardlow.
4 power bombs.
Took 4 power bombs.
4 power bombs made it look easy.
Took four power bombs, and then they come down to do the beatdown. And what's he do? He pops right back up and joins in the beatdown. So not only did you not book, you booked him to get squashed like a jobber by taking the powerbomb symphony 4 times. He then turns around and just tears down Wardlow's powerbomb and symphony because he popped right back up and started beating him down.
No sold it.
No sold it.
He just rolled out the ring and then he rolled back in the ring.
Yeah, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
What really was killing me too for that match was Gates and Agony, which was putting the beat down on everybody. And when FTR came out, they came out as like the big heavy, and Gates and Agony backed down. They backed down on FTR. Being that big, you back down on them. I mean,
and that beat down transitioned to them getting a title shot at Battle of the Belts for the ROH title. So that's not setting up. That's not a story. You just, again, you go back.
They just threw the match.
That's a 3-day setup.
But like with the Brian Cage stuff, like he cut a hell of a promo online that played
Online.
But on Dynamite, they didn't have him talk at all before the match. You know, they had the stable out there, the 3 of them, and they did a little promo before. Then he goes out to the ring and gets beat down. Like, it's just like, why are you doing it that way?
Yeah, I did catch that.
again, you're not paying attention to the details.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay attention to the details. It just makes no sense. And we've seen this with AEW the entire 3 years that they've been around with stuff like that. Like when are the guys going to sit down and you have the locker room? We talked about this. You have the experience backstage in the locker room to button this shit up. Now, whether or not those guys are listening to them, the Mark Henrys, the Arn Andersons, Dean Malenkos,
All white.
Jerry Lynn's, Paul White, like you have the experience back there, Dustin Rhodes, to nip this shit in the bud. Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass, Scissor Me. We'll talk about that. But yeah, like, how is this still a thing 3 years into the company?
And all the wrestlers should be comfortable enough on TV to know stuff. Remember before they wasn't? Yeah, you remember before they wasn't because everybody was new to live TV.
Right
now you think 3 years in the game. Come on now.
You probably figure it's still rush. They're still giving you wrestling. Maybe if you take a match out, you can give stuff time to play out during matches or after matches and scrums.
It wasn't the prettiest of beat downs. I will say that, Dave. I will say that. But yeah, like the cage, that whole booking and all that, like it just doesn't come off well, and it makes you roll your eyes and go, like, what are we doing here? Like it was a week of missed opportunities to where battle of the belts is battle of retain. Like we know this, right?
Pretty much.
Robert says Jericho versus Danielson will be great. I'm not going to debate you on that, right? Like it's Jericho and Danielson. But at the same time, like it's the
story they're telling.
This will be the third time. This will be the third time for this. In like what, 3 months or something?
I don't even think it's been 3 months.
3 months,
3 times. So like, and what, you're gonna have Danielson lose all 3 times? What does that do?
What is this match for?
ROH title.
For the ROH title.
For the honor.
Jericho's first champion, former ROH champion to destroy the honor and Ring of Honor. This is his first pick. So you're gonna knock Danielson?
I forgot he said that. I figured you can right your wrong and put it on Danielson, but now you gotta go through the lineage. You gotta play up that storyline.
So you're gonna start off with the boss and work your way down to the street level penny pusher? Like this is what you're doing?
Silas Young will be the last guy.
He should. I agree with you. I agree. He should.
Yeah, but then that goes into you're playing hot potato with the ROH title with no TV deal and no regular programming. Yeah. Hey, and right, from Gresham to Claudio to Jericho to Danielson, all within a 6-month span.
Right, you're wrong right now. Right, you're wrong right now. Cut your losses.
That just, like I said, so there's missed opportunities across the board there.
No way one of the 3 Hogans is losing the title. Come on now.
Yeah, we saw one of the 3 Hogans get a contract extension, 5 years, 5-year deal. Moxley will have backstage roles along with this contract. I saw the announcement, and you want to know what my first thought was? Take a guess at what once the announcement came out, he signed a 5-year deal. Take a guess at what my first thought was whenever that announcement came across.
Creative control.
No.
I'm taking on Hunter myself.
Are they going to be around in 5 years?
I think so.
are they going to be around? And I never, if you would have asked me that 18 months ago, that thought wouldn't have came into my mind if they would have said Moxley signed a 5-year extension.
Yeah,
I'm not hating on Mox for
Good-
getting the
good for him.
bag.
Get a
I'll never
bag,
hate on
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
for getting the bag. Get the bag. But
Get
it's
it while
like
you can.
Tony Khan signing wrestling contracts like he signs NFL contracts, and it's not good. The Jaguars stink. Like it's starting to, But I thought first thing was, are they going to be around in 5 years based off of everything that's gone on the last 12 months? And in the downward trajectory, the guy that jumped off the plane before it started descending into the fiery crash that maybe AEW is right now, Captain Cody himself, pilot jumped off, deuces. And ever since he bailed out of the plane, there ain't been nobody there to pick it back up.
He had the parachute
nose
coming
down.
on the back, and the parachute coming on the plane.
Big nightmare tattoo logo on the parachute. He just flew that parachute right down to the rooftop of Stamford, Connecticut. He was out there. I'm out.
That's true.
I mean, you start looking like big picture, you zoom out that 30,000 view.
Dave said, I don't think one bad year is going to be their downfall. How many bad years has WWE had and they bounce back?
Thing about
Which is
WWE
true.
though, WWE had the years in advance to where you're just going to keep watching.
There it
But
is.
I think there's enough AEW loyalists to keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw this with TNA, where TNA went through just horrible years, and they're still around. But look at how their product has fallen off from whenever they were on Spike TV, drawing 3-4 million a show, to now they're behind a paywall on YouTube, like with no TV, like, you know what I mean? But they're 20 years in. AEW's 3 years in, like. I'm sure people weren't saying this thing about WCW, right? WCW, the hottest thing in wrestling, 97. By 2002, they're out of business.
I don't think Tony Khan would sell and admit defeat.
I don't think it would sell either. And granted, there were a lot of things behind the scenes WCW-wise that torpedoed them with the AOL merger and everything else. And as of right now, everything they still have the backing of the
Warner Brothers,
Warner Brothers and all that. But I mean, although I did see that they will no longer be carried on Warner Brothers' own stations in, I believe, Mexico and somewhere else moving forward. So I don't know if that's a Warner Brothers thing or if that's them hedging their bets. I don't know much to do about nothing. Maybe I don't know, but it's just the track record. It's not there. You don't got that 20-year period. You don't have from the Hogan era to the early 90s where shit was just terrible to Austin Rock, Attitude, into Cena. Like you could afford to get through some of those years because of the fan base that you have built up. I mean,
people had to run something to the ground. Yeah.
You said with WCW, there was a lot of backstage stuff.
Yeah.
A ton of backstage stuff.
Backstage stuff with AEW right now. So I mean, we'll see how it all plays out, but
I think it will be there because there's a lot of fans, like just AEW stronghold fans. Remember when ECW lost their TV deal, there was still stronghold ECW fans, the original ECW.
Hell,
but those stronghold ECW fans weren't there on the TV deal because the product wasn't the same.
Yeah, that was different. It was toned down.
ECW didn't work on TV because ECW wasn't built for TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's AEW will be around for the next 10 years. I hope so. This is not me wanting the company to go out of business because they're,
because it's people's lives and everything.
right.
Yeah,
No, I'm just bringing up the fact that 3 years in, when you announce a 5-year extension for arguably your biggest star in the company, instead of saying, "Hey, great signing, way to lock him up, good job," whatever, the first thought in my head is, "Are they going to be around?" And that just goes to show how big of a turn it's been the last 6-8 months, 10 months. We're in October, so from January of this year till now, like. But yeah, we'll see. I don't hope it. I'm not. This is me not trying to put it out in the universe and speak it into existence. It's just the fact that I kind of did a pause on myself. Like, why was that my first thought whenever his contract was announced for being extended? Something to ponder and think about there.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else matchup wise that you saw AEW? When is Jay Cargill going to lose? Like you're on the repeating people now. If you told the story right, Willow could have won last night on Battle of the Belts, and everybody would have popped.
But there was no build. That's the
It happened on Wednesday.
So I was just sitting there. I was like, yeah, this is not going to happen because between her and Hater, those two right now are like going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. JR again. Who sucks? Willow?
Jade.
Jade?
You got to say Jade. I know you're not.
I mean, at some point she got to lose. Like,
yeah, yes, she do.
She can't be the only first ever undefeated pro wrestler in wrestling's history,
and only TBS champion. The only one. I'm not sure if they should have her turn her focus on the women's title, whoever's holding it at this point.
I mean, Tony has it, so heel versus babyface factor would be good, but like, is it almost expected that she would win that because she held the TBS for so long? You know what I mean? Like, I think having her drop the belt to the right person and the right story will be good for the division overall. Let her take some time off and then come back and be that bitch and go after the women's title. Like,
I don't need it to be Nyla Rose. I feel like she's above that. This should be building people.
Right. Should always be building people. Yeah. Always. That should always be the goal in wrestling, is to build people.
And maybe you don't have Willow be the girl because she's allegedly going to be more in ROH, which is fine. But like, don't have her lose to Jade on AEW. Again, like this whole ROH not being TV ready or not having a deal and not putting on a show.
It's killing their wrestlers.
It's killing their wrestlers because you're having them come out and they're losing matches.
And what was it? Dynamite was her first win.
Besides dark matches, yeah. I don't mean dark matches like dark. I mean the show Dark.
Yeah.
Like
besides the one on first one on TV.
Yeah.
That's about Jade.
Character wise, I'll disagree with you. In ring wise, I can see that.
Who?
Jade.
Oh, okay. I thought that was about
Willow. Yeah, character wise, I disagree completely. Like she was character ready made for a title day one as soon as she walked out on stage.
Yeah.
What in ring work? Yeah. But there's your job as a booker is to put her in the ring with people that are above her wrestling wise so she can work herself up. And also they can carry matches and make her shine to where she doesn't come across as not being able to wrestle.
Yeah.
So how much of that, like Jade has improved greatly from day one till now in the ring. She's gotten better. Is she on the level of a Serena Deeb or Tony Storm or Britt Baker? No, not yet. But she's only been in the business for how long? Like, you're talking about 7, 8, 20-year pros at that point. So I know people want to bury her in ring work, but like we got to keep it 100, as Conan likes to say. She's only been in the business for what, 2 years? And to that point, Chris, I read and saw that Khan didn't even want to buy ROH. The only reason why he bought ROH is because WWE showed interest in it.
You can't have it.
So it was a pissing contest. Let me pull out and see who's bigger. I'm going to buy it first. Well, now you bought it. You had no plans on buying it. You had no plans on doing anything with it.
Now you
but
don't know
you bought it to appease your fan base and to come across as you care about wrestling so much that you don't want this brand that's been strictly wrestling for 20 years to die off. You're going to revive it. And now we're coming up on a year and you haven't done anything with it. A year from the last, the last ROH show was December of last year, right? The old ROH. The new ROH started in April. But you're coming up on a year from the last true ROH show, and there's been no movement, nothing at all. See, I disagree with that.
I think she's getting better. It's just she's not there yet.
So, I don't know. But I think the biggest mistake of the night, and this could just be my personal taste, but I'll throw it out there to you guys. The Acclaimed National Scissoring Day. Tremendous segment, by the way. I thoroughly enjoyed everything about the segment until Swerve's music hit.
Oh gosh. Same here.
I'm here for daddy ass. That's it. You can keep this is not and all that.
And this is not a dig at Swerve because I love Swerve. This is not saying that Swerve did anything wrong or that he didn't sound good on the mic. No, this has nothing to do with him. Then Mark Sterling comes out and just buries it even more. Like, you had the crowd built up through that entire segment. They kept building it and building it and building it. And then they split off to come together in a 3-way scissor. Pause, say that 5 times fast. And then Swerve's music hits and it just flatlines everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you always have to have the heel come out in that instance? Why can't you just let
it ride?
The crowd enjoy the moment and have them come together in a 3-way, then you go off to a commercial break or you go into another segment. Like, why do you have
backstage with them or something afterwards? Let the moment happen.
Yeah.
Again, missed opportunity. And Swerve comes out to build up to the match with Daddy Ass next week on Dynamite in Toronto. Okay, I get it. But you can do that, Jay, like you said, you can do that backstage. Mm-hmm. Have them come together. The crowd pops. Everybody's going crazy. And then you can have commentary go, we got Shivani in the back with Swerve. And then it kicks it over to Swerve. And he bashes the National Scissoring Day, calls him everything he did, and then challenges Billy Gunn. Like,
yeah, that was awful. That was awful. Or do like they normally.
That wasn't a pet rock that Swerve had either. That was like a boulder. Where did you find that at? It wasn't
outside the arena. Or do like they normally do. Just show up a graphic, be like, "Hey, Daddy Ass is fighting Swerve next week."
They do that plenty enough, right? Like, they just flash the graphic for it.
They just flash the graphic, so why not do that? Nah.
But it killed all the momentum, and they all three of those guys, Bowens, Max, and Daddy Ass, they all did a tremendous job throughout that entire segment of just hyping the crowd up more and more and more and more. You had everybody on their feet whenever they split off into the separate corners to come together. Like there was nobody sitting in the arena, and you fucking didn't let them do it. Like it just fell flat.
It's like Vince booking you in your hometown.
It's like Rey Mysterio constantly losing in San Diego. It just never fails. Like I just don't understand why you can't ever just let the moment happen. Jay, you made a great point. Let the moment happen. Like just let it happen. There's other ways to set up the match for next week. Like you're on live TV, you can make the audible and not do the segment the way that you originally had it planned based on the reaction that you're getting.
Yeah.
Just like WWE always did with DX. Just like WCW always did with NWO.
And did it always work out in those segments? No, not necessarily. But at the same time, you let it happen. That was one instance where you should have just let it ride. Russell Wilson, Broncos country, let's ride. You threw it 2 interceptions and lost to the Colts in a 9-6 game. And you're out there talking about let's ride in your press conference. It's like Tony Khan going out at the end of the death match with sparklers going off, talking about let's ride. It just does nothing.
Yep, but they never let you breathe. That's always them. That's built into their DNA. Just throw stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff.
And sometimes it works, but at the end of the day, like you can't just you got to be smarter than that. Looking at your show live as it's going on air.
Mm-hmm.
Audibles are made all the time, probably more than we know what fans watching as far as audibles being made and stuff changing up on the fly for the show.
And it's not like he can't hear it. I mean, he's writing Gorilla. He's just a curtain away from the fans.
So yeah, we'll see. All right, WWE. Before we break down Extreme Rules, I want to say one thing. We can talk about it if we want to, and then we can get into the card and kind of tie the week that was into the card predictions as we go through it. Why the hell did you spend the first 20 minutes of your go-home show on Friday Night SmackDown for building up a match that's taking place 5 weeks from now? If you would have pushed that segment off by 1 week, you still have 4 weeks to the pay-per-view to build the match.
It's the series premiere.
Series premiere, my ass. You had Triple H come out and do the NXT bit for SmackDown, and it didn't come across well because nobody knew what to say. You know, he was like, "Welcome to Fox," and nobody did anything. Like,
yeah, that was weird when he said Fox.
Yeah, and then it was like Friday night, and nobody said SmackDown. Like we are NXT. Just you gotta establish the bit before you do it. H.
You had to show out that QR code.
You got to practice out on a few house crowds.
But yeah, like I don't understand. You're in your go home show for a pay per view.
Hey, look, I was happy because I got Jay and Sammy on screen. I didn't care how to say this.
Yeah. That's tremendous. Yeah, welcome to FOX. What are you talking about? Fox. But yeah, and the segment wasn't even good. Paul Heyman cut a bad promo.
He did. I didn't know where he was going.
I didn't even know all these people he was naming.
I'm like,
I had no idea.
And I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, am I an out of touch, middle-aged man that has no idea on current events who these people are? Like, what do they mean? Like,
I didn't know who the first guy was.
I didn't know any of them. Did not know a soul.
And then Logan's whole thing of like, who's the tribal chief, Roman or Jay? And it's like, well, is that supposed to cause dissent? And they tried hyping it up like that's the line to cause dissent in the blood,
No,
but it's like
that's perfect.
that doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, to put a mop bomb in Roman's head. Like, nah,
that's perfect for me. Yeah.
Nah, that was settled, man. That was settled.
I need that to be the long-term booking.
That was settled.
Jay turning his back on the family because Logan Paul said he's the tribal chief. That's the long-term booking.
Yeah.
They was on Twitter saying Jay was having Thunderdome flashbacks.
Yeah, that was my whole problem with the opening segment last night. Like, you spent 20 minutes of your show not discussing anything about the pay-per-view that's taking place tonight. So, with that being said, let's get into the card. We'll break it down, give our predictions, pick out match of the night, and then we'll touch on things from the week that was in WWE to tie into the card itself. So,
all right,
let's hit it.
These are in no order because we don't know the order, so I'm just starting from the bottom, working my way up. All right, we had the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium.
I was so pissed last night.
You and me both. But I think so. This was the first time they did the crappy, dusty finish ending to where I was pissed because it was done to actually make me pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like they hit the nail on the head with it because roll out Sheamus and Gunther every single week. Just let them two fight every single week.
True.
Did he really go over last night? It was a smash finish. Did he really he didn't beat him clean twice. But those two can go at it nonstop. I don't care. Let them. The only thing I need is Big E on commentary for that match. Just
big meaty men bumping
big
me.
meaty men slapping me. But I do expect the Brawling Brutes to win tonight. That's my prediction. Probably Eichner will take the loss, or Giovanni Vinci will take the loss. Gunther's not getting pinned.
Yeah, no,
not at all.
I'm gonna go with the Brutes.
I got the Brutes as well.
Who you got, Chris?
He picked the Brutes to win.
Oh, you won't hear me.
No, he said it. He said it in the chat. He said it.
In the chat. Okay.
Right there.
Mm-hmm. You just stopped at Walter's gone over Sheamus twice and just quit reading.
I stopped at Walter because it's Gunther.
Yeah.
The Brutes.
And again, I think they booked themselves into a bit of a corner with that match as well as putting it on the night before the pay-per-view. We talked about that last week. Like, why have that match before the three ways, the six, whatever.
Yeah, that's Vince booking there. Yeah, that was Vince booking there. Sorry.
Because you probably won't get much of Walter or Gunther and Sheamus.
Yeah. All right. Next match. The strap match. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross.
They had this match last night, so don't expect anything different. They gave it to you for free on SmackDown last night with what they did.
They had it the week before, too.
Yeah, they did.
I will say that this will be physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be the match of the night where like you turn your head away from the screen.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, I think these two are going to beat the hell out of each other in this match. Kross has to win this. Drew's not hurting the loss.
Yeah,
you're establishing Kross back up as a guy. The presentation with him and Scarlett works. Just let Kross win.
I'd be more interested in this match without the strap. But
I think I would too.
Give me Kross with a fireball from Scarlett.
To win the match, that's what you're calling for?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this fireball goes off better than the last one she shot because that was a mess.
Kross is going to win, but I don't care about the match. I just want to see what Scarlett's wearing. That's it. Yeah, I'm that guy. I am that guy. I don't care.
Tremendous.
All right, next match. We got the I Quit match, brother, against Edge versus Finn Balor. God damn.
I would be more. This is where they dropped the ball story wise, because I really don't feel like the I Quit stipulation matches what they've done. Like you've taken Edge out via injury with some like this would have been better off with a steel chair match because you used the chair to take Edge out twice. But an I Quit match really doesn't fit the story that you've been telling. It's not like they've had battles and
Could have gave me a last man standing match.
that would have been better towards the feud because
I hate I Quit.
of where it's been. But
You didn't need to give me this match whatsoever.
Does Finn saying I quit tonight officially kill Judgment Day?
No, because Dom and Rhea still a thing.
See, Taekwon out there dropping jewels because
I hope your internet goes back out.
he's on the same pathway that I was, and I thought about this with Edge's last promo that he cut. Again, sitting in the corner of the ring like he always does. My man just can't cut a promo anywhere besides sitting next to the turnbuckles. It's been his entire promo run since he's come back.
Give me a chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Finneas.
Yeah.
I don't need Edge to win this. I like Beth throwing in the towel to where we don't get the I quit, but she's fearful for her husband's safety and throws in the towel. And then you can have Edge and Beth get the win over Finn and Rhea and move on to something else.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that comment. We're gonna let that go. But yeah, no,
I want Finn to win because you know how I feel about Edge.
I'm going with Finn for the win too.
He's getting extremely too much TV time to be a legend.
Well, he's coming up on his last run here, his last hurrah. So maybe this will be the kickstart to that. But I don't want to see it start off with Finn saying, "Oh
man, his last hurrah ended when Roman beat him at WrestleMania." Get the fuck off his screen, finally, please. Jeez.
What's next?
We have the ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship. Champ Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
Is Bianca actually wrestling? Because she wasn't cleared. After Monday night, she got hurt. So she's not cleared to wrestle right now. Did that change between Monday and now? And I think it's a legit shoot injury. Like, I don't think it's a work.
Was it the over the table spot?
I'm not sure where it happened. It might have been, but yeah, everything that came out that I read during the week is that she's not medically cleared to actually go in this match. So this may be a change. So I don't with that being out there and not confirmed, it hasn't been confirmed or denied. So they announced it last night that she is wrestling. Okay, I missed that then.
Okay.
See, I had Impact, I had Bound for Glory on the laptop and SmackDown on the TV, so I missed that. All the cake, just all the cake. Be like a 1-year-old on my first birthday, just both hands, just
smash me.
Yeah. We really going big?
No.
Bianca retains.
Bianca, because this is my War Games match for the women. Yeah. So Bianca.
When Bianca win the belt back? Mania? Did she be Becky at Mania for the belt?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's when they all came out.
I mean, besides Bailey, I really don't see anybody else on the roster right now to take it off her.
I think they're going to run it back a couple times. I don't think this is done after this.
Don't throw that one up. Don't throw that one up. We're not trying to get canceled on Twitch. Don't throw that one up.
He said one clap.
Two pump chump. That's how we're doing the show today. I'll go Bianca. I'll go Bianca. No rhyme or reason. Just I'll go Bianca.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, and the last one that's on the card, the Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's. Oh no, I got one more. SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey.
They might as well just call this a kendo stick match because that's all they're going to use. I don't care about this match. I don't care about Liv's title run. I thought she would have dropped the belt at the last pay-per-view, but they're letting her run with it. I guess maybe Ronda. I don't know.
I'm going to Liv.
I'm going Ronda. Hopefully this builds to Ronda and Shayna. Yeah, agree with you, Chris. Yeah.
But Ronda's not a face right now.
She's kind of.
I mean, if she's teetering, but like she's teetering more on the hillside.
This is that turn.
All right. What's next?
Last one.
We did this one.
Whoops. Sorry.
Last one.
Yeah. The Fight Pit match. Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins.
So there's no tag team title match and no heavyweight title match on this show. No IC title match on this show.
Nope.
No US title match on this show.
Oh no.
One of those could have been on there.
What are we doing?
Women's tag, not on the show.
Women's tag, not on the show. Bianca and Bailey main event this, right? Like you put them on in the main event.
They need to. It'll probably be Ronda and Liv.
No, if it's anything, if Bailey and Bianca aren't the main event, it's going to be Seth and Riddle.
I think Seth and Riddle's going to main event just because Cormier is there. Cormier.
And then you get Lesnar to come back out and he challenges Cormier, and they have their fight in WWE since they didn't have it in the UFC.
Get Cormier out of here. Did you watch on Monday when he came in? They were talking like he was here. And he cut their promo like he didn't know. Like they didn't know.
Shout out to Kenny and Toe, the Call Up Podcast and Knucklehead doing their Raw watch along. We wedding crashed the Raw watch along on Monday night and talked about this whenever they came in. Like you didn't even you had Cormier via satellite. You couldn't fly him in, like Kenny said. You couldn't fly him in for the show, like
yeah,
for your go home show.
And he broke the news like it was breaking news, like we didn't already know. 2 days ahead.
Yeah, he spoiled himself on Twitter. Like you might see a familiar face tonight on Raw. It's like, dude, you're ruining it. Kayfabe, brother. You're not a big wrestling mark like you say you are. You're ruining kayfabe.
And he don't need to be the ref. He can just commentate.
It takes away from the match for me, unless you give up some dusty finish where you put Riddle over. Though I don't need that.
No, because that's why I want Seth to win.
I'll go Riddle.
Go
Riddle. Maybe you get an Orton return tonight, but I doubt that. I don't know how his back injury is progressing. So
yeah, I doubt that too.
Is the White Rabbit returning, or is it
White Rabbit will be there?
Will be here. Mm-hmm.
I see.
He's here. So we closed the show with Wyatt. Maybe that's why you don't put Bianca and Bailey in the main event.
I would like him to. I'd rather see him go after Seth if it's Wyatt.
And Seth talked about Bray in his interview. I think it was with Ariel Helwani. Hey, Helwani kills those interviews. Like he killed it with Triple H. Seth was amazing. Like go on YouTube and watch those. If you're a wrestling fan, they're tremendous stuff. But he talked about working with Bray and how difficult it is to work with that type of character and the things that you need to overcome and everything. But he would love to get another crack at it again. So if you're going to have Bray come back and you've been building up this White Rabbit character and promos and vignettes, then it would be smart for them to put Seth and Riddle in the main event and have Bray return there. That'll get people talking going into Monday night. So now here's a question for you, and this is kind of off topic, but we've been talking about this White Rabbit thing, and it's had the internet in a buzz and everything else, and we talked about them using this QR code thing moving forward for different debuts and storylines and everything else. So they announced this week that they've hired, I guess, a head of, what's the title? Future Creative or Long-Term Creative.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the guy's name. I don't have time to pull up the article but he's worked on at Marvel and some other big time things. But apparently he's been there for weeks, and he's been the one that's been doing this White Rabbit stuff.
Okay.
Which, if that's true, it makes complete sense. And bravo to you coming in and jumping this off the way that you have, because every single week it's the number one trending thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people are trying to decipher it and everything else. Last night's was almost a dead giveaway to Bray because it was the whole "let me in" on repeat. You had the husky hair shot between all the different pigs. But yeah, kudos. If he's going to come in and do shit like this, I'm all for him being the head of long-term creative, because this has been done really well. And I think we're capping it off at the right point in time as far as length goes for telling it. Right, like you build it up over enough weeks to where now we're expecting the payoff. I would have wished they wouldn't have given away the payoff last night on SmackDown with the commercial they ran. But
yeah, I was telling Jason earlier in the week, this is like a ratings builder, because everybody tune in just to see the QR code and see who it is.
The QR code, right?
Man, it's better than rolling out a legendary and just giving a wave or two.
With QRC code legit is trending on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'll backtrack. I'll go Seth and Riddle to main event this, and then Bray comes back as the White Rabbit, and we're off with him either going after Seth or Riddle.
I need a red fight cage. Fight pit. All red.
The fight pit setup I like. Like, I like the aesthetics of it when they've done it in NXT. So if they stay true to form to that and maybe add the red because it's on the main roster now, I wouldn't be mad at it. But
then again, there's no rope, so they got to either open the show or close it. So closing.
See, if you open it and you have Bray come back, then I think you just ruin the rest.
You ruined the rest of the pay-per-view. Yeah.
I was just saying, just because it had, the stuff they got
set up and everything. Yeah.
No, it's going on last.
Yeah. You'll probably go on last.
Yeah.
All right.
You
ready for debate this?
For real quick, match of the night.
I was about to say Walter and Sheamus. Give me the ladder match.
Yeah, I was thinking Bianca Bailey.
I'll go Bianca Bailey, but I got a feeling Cross and McIntyre people are gonna be walking away talking about that match.
I'm probably too squeamish to want to talk about it.
All right, so that's Extreme Rules. Tune in tonight. Hit us up on social media. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong. As always, at Dunmarks Pod across the board. You can get at us. Follow along as we live tweet the show later on. Comment. Maybe I might even jump in and do a spaces later. I don't know. I haven't decided. Depends on what time I get back from all my running around I got going on today. So with that being said, let's get into debate this. All right. This week, debate this topic is top 10 all-time pro wrestling factions. Now, this list, I believe this is a fan-generated list. From the source of it, I didn't think that this was done by any publication or anything like that. So hey, we got no problem pulling stuff from fans out there too.
Mhm.
If it gets a discussion going, we'll add it on to debate this. So throw stuff up at us, tweet at us, hit us up on Facebook. Let us know what you'd like to see us debate each and every single week here on the show. Because you guys can go first because this I'm not feeling this list at all.
No.
We're going about the order, or who should be off this list.
And it's anything. It's debate. It's up for anything.
The order for me, I wouldn't. My order would be different.
DX would be number 2 for me, not Evolution. Sorry,
NWO,
the New World Order were groundbreaking.
Yeah, NWO wouldn't be number 1 for me. You know,
I think NWO changed the game, so I would have them as number 1.
I hate
the fact that the 4 Horsemen are not on this list.
Those words are just about to come out of my mouth.
Just complete blasphemy.
It's a young fan.
You got to be a young fan.
Because then I was going to ask, who would you take off to put somebody in? But now that we have somebody, the 4 Horsemen, who would you take off to put in?
For me, four Horsemen's going up at number 1.
Number 1.
Okay.
I'll put them at 1. I'll put NWO at 2. I'll throw DX at 3. I'd make the argument Bullet Club would be 4. Based on what they've done over the last, almost 10 years or almost 10 years since that faction's been around, the different iterations. They put New Japan Pro Wrestling on the map. They birthed arguably the biggest stars at the hottest times. So I could argue Bullet Club being 4. Bloodline, I'd probably move up to 5 right now, and with an asterisk to move them higher, because you have the longest reigning WWE champion in the modern era, and you're going to have the longest reigning tag team champions in the modern era. The Usos of the Bloodline, they're going to take over New Day's consecutive day streak. Roman's is only growing. I think San Martino and Bob Backlund are the only 2 he's trailing as far as total days. So when you add that into the mix for longevity, staying on top, you got to have them up there in the top 5.
And they have to have that match for me, the New Day and Usos. Hopefully they started booking from last night. You got to have that match to overcome their
what
record.
The New Day was. Yeah.
For me, yeah. You got to have that match.
And that storyline writes itself. There's not a lot that you got to do there. It's, hey, you guys were number 1. We the ones, as they like to say. We're going to be the longest reigning champs ever.
He who shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, I think that the 2 that can go off of this list for me, the Corporation and Main Event Mafia.
I never watched TNA during the Main Event Mafia's run, so I don't know anything about them, so they can completely go.
Main Event Mafia were cool, but it was at a point in time where none of those guys were in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Kurt, with the exception of Kurt. But the faction themselves, Kurt, Sting, Nash, Steiner, Booker T. I mean, that's a hell of a faction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only other one 2 other ones that popped into my mind as far as old school factions that aren't on the list, the Varsity Club and then the Freebirds.
Would you consider New Day?
New Day, you would consider New Day a faction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about the Deadly Alliance, WCW?
I didn't know enough about them, but
I don't know if I would put them top 10.
They'd be up there. Probably not top 10, but they're up there. Personnel.
Triple Threat, ECW.
That was going to be my last one that I was going to bring up to the table. They would have to be on this list too.
Yes.
I'm taking the Hart Foundation off and putting 4 Horsemen on.
That's just because you hate Bret Hart.
Yes.
You can't do that. Like the Hart Foundation, you can't drop them off.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, here we go. Put that up. Does the Y family crack the top 10? I would say no.
No.
Because they didn't have the success
Yeah.
that they should have had. I know Rowan and Redbeard and Brody Lee, they held tag team titles, and that Bray did win the WWE title at one point. But to me, they lost more big time feuds than they won, which hurts them as far as a top 10 faction. Dave, great point.
Yeah.
No, but they'd be in the top 20 for me.
If they were still running the Hurt Business, and we're talking that you would have been roughly 2 years into their run, because they started in the pandemic, right? I mean, 2 years in, that's a long time for a faction.
No AEW factions. Would you consider Inner Circle?
There's not. No, because they weren't around long enough.
Okay.
None of those AEW factions, and I guess you can call the elite or the super elite a faction, but they haven't been together. They're just friends together. They're not a faction truly dominating a promotion or running. You know what I mean? All these factions, for the most part, minus the Nation of Domination, just out of this top 10 list, were on top of a company. And the Nation, even though they may not have been number one at the top of the company, but they battled with the number one faction at the time, which was DX. So you have both of those playing off of each other. For me, none of those AEW stables or factions.
And I can't call the elite of the faction. It meant to me that's just a spinoff of Bullet Club.
Has anybody held titles in the faction? I know Sammy has.
Wait, which faction? Which faction you talking about?
Just in AEW in general.
Oh, AEW.
Jericho was champion during
he was in Inner Circle. But you're thinking multiple.
Did FTR have the tag belts in the Pinnacle?
I'm trying to remember what that run was for them.
After?
Because they only had the belts for 60 days, and you made them lose to the Young Bucks and made them number one contenders, and they haven't gotten a title shot since. Joke.
Yeah, if they would lasted longer, I'd definitely put the Inner Circle on here, just for their importance.
I completely forgot about them.
They would be above Main Event Mafia for me. They would be above the Corporation for me.
Yes.
I'd probably put them over the Nation just because of their run in NXT and how they dominated NXT. So yeah, I got no problem adding Undisputed Era to the top 10 list. Oh, all right. Anybody got anything else for top 10 all-time pro wrestling factions?
No, this was a good one.
Yeah, definitely keep those coming. Like I said, whether it be through official publicized or publications, or websites, etc., or fans, definitely throw them up to us. We'll kick them around, debate this for sure. Donald, drop me off for a second. You can get started with Drink of the Week, and then I'll be right back.
All right.
Chug, 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 chug.
Oh, Drink of the Week. I'm too busy on the sticks. I don't even have my thing. Beer ready. So the beer is, we're doing 9/11 Donut Cider. Premium.
Make sure
small.
That you put it up first before I got the
small batch cider. I was about to do the same thing with you. Put it up. So it's a cider, hard cider beer that is a 6.9 alcohol by volume.
Mm-hmm.
911 cider, hard donut cider is blended with brown sugar and spices to create the warm, toasty, perfectly fall flavor of the favorite sweet treat. So that was a mouthful. So,
And who did we just have from them? We just had something like.
Was it a blackberry? I'm trying to remember. Was it a blackberry?
Whatever it was good.
Yeah, it was. And they also have a blueberry one out that we saw that I wish I would have picked up, but I already made my choices by then. So let's go ahead and give this bad boy a try. Yep, there it goes. Watermelon mint. Thank you, Chris. It smells good. I smell donut. I smell donut. Wow, this is completely different taste. I was not expecting this.
Yeah, no. We're gonna have to run through this whole line.
Yeah, we did. Next beer run, just all 1911 ciders. That's it. It tastes like cinnamon, salted caramel, glazed donut. I'm getting all that in this.
You know me, I can't taste flavors, but I like it.
Yeah, I do. And on the sweetness scale from 1 to 6, it's given a 5 on it for sweetness. Yeah.
When Steve come back, tell him you got to shake the can. Turn it over.
Yeah, I heard that, so I don't know if that's real or not. I'm looking at the can now.
Yeah. He's there watching the show, you know. Chris said he sold on it from what we were saying.
6.9% alcohol. That's a lot.
It tastes good.
We've done 1911 on this show before, and I've enjoyed what we've had from them so far from Snyder's. Yeah, I would drink this again, 100%. I know it's brown sugar, spices, little caramel in there. Like
I taste everything.
You do, but it's not like to me, it's not like overly sweet, like an extra glazed donut or a sugar donut. Like it's definitely a cider. Like you can tell it's a cider. But this one, I think this one may be my favorite from them.
Yeah, that watermelon mint I like, but I really, really enjoy this.
I thought we had a black can a while back too.
We did. We had a black cherry one.
Yeah, I think there was a black cherry one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we're ranking these three from 1911, I would put the donut first, the watermelon mint, and then the black cherry.
And all good. All good. Yeah.
Black cherry donut, watermelon mint.
I was telling them there was the blueberry one we saw too, but we already made our picks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to scoop that one up to try that one as well. But yeah, you cider lovers out there, go grab the can of this 1911 cider donut. You won't be disappointed by it. Really good. 6.9% alcohol in a 16-ounce can. You can have 2 or 3 of these and be off your rocker for the rest of the day. So, highly recommend this one. All right.
I give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I go solid 4.25 for me for sure. 4. Cool. 4s across the board. All right.
One got to go.
Yep, kick it over. One got to go. We do have some sports topics, but given time constraints today with stuff that I have to do and with Chris not being on the show, we're going to kick some of that to next week to discuss.
Get really into it.
Yeah, get really into it. But there are some good college matchups today. Tennessee versus LSU is a big one. You got Oklahoma, Texas is on right now.
Kansas and TCU.
Kansas and TCU is a top 15 matchup. So, yeah, good slate in college football today. And then NFL tomorrow, Steelers, Kenny Pickett going to Buffalo. We'll see what massacre that turns into. But other than that, we'll kick sports the next week. So coming off of the
last week's one got to go. Yeah.
Traumatizing deaths in the kids movie.
The top two were Mufasa's death and Littlefoot's mom's death as the top two.
So I think people were voting on this incorrectly and not understanding the assignment, even though we explained the assignment
a lot of times.
It's not the one you don't kick off the one that impacted you the most.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I think they did. Mm-hmm. It's out of the four. Which one is like the least affects you?
Yeah, which one got to go? Which one out of those four? Which one could you just do without that doesn't matter to you? So understand the assignment. One got to go. Not
if one
this is my favorite.
If you put those up and one got to go, I'm definitely kicking off Mufasa.
Yes, but after the results and everything was tallied, Mufasa was the one that had to go because I think everybody was picking like that was the most dramatic. So
that was the most dramatic. Yeah,
I just watched a TikTok where a lady had her daughter watching Mufasa die and teared up a little bit. Just a bit.
All right. So this week's it was called Chris's Week. And he set over the best-selling video games by units, not by money, but by units. So he has Minecraft, which was 238 million units. Grand Theft Auto 5, 169 million units. Tetris, 100 million units. And Wii Sports, 82,900,000 units.
Oh, this is easy for me. Minecraft got to go.
I never wanted to do this list because Minecraft was at the top.
Minecraft, I've never understood how that game is so popular, where it's electronic Legos. You motherfuckers are too lazy to build Legos yourselves, so you just do it on TV. That's all Minecraft is. Like, other than that, if somebody please break down and explain to me what makes Minecraft an enjoyable game to play. Because you're literally just building Legos.
Hey, Chris, you got doing with actual hard copy physical discs. Not just I purchased Minecraft, but and bought this shit. Minecraft, let's go.
Yeah, Minecraft can kick your rocks.
Probably one of the simplest one got to go we had to do. Minecraft got to go.
Tetris is putting blocks together in a time-constraining manner to make them drop off the board.
Yes,
it's a puzzle-solving skill game. Not I'm just gonna build a town and feed my goats and pigs and maybe kill a monster or two that pops up with a sword.
Yeah, I don't understand Minecraft. I'm with you, Steve. I have no idea what it is, what it does. Nothing. As soon as I see Minecraft on a video or something, I turn it off. Because I don't want to know what it is.
No.
That's not
what was Chris's?
I spent most of the time playing Tetris and Wii Sports on this list. GTA is a classic franchise. Minecraft got to go. Just felt like that game was a colossal waste of time.
Yeah, we're good. We don't need to
waste it. I feel like you played it, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm over this. We can move on.
Yep.
This is quick and easy. 2 pump chump. Like
there we go. Yep. Thank you for it, Chris. Real quick one.
That's not final thoughts, Donald. That was the one gotta go graphic still up. But good job being production man running the 1s and 2s.
Yeah, it's a lot running production and comments and all that stuff. Like, damn.
We don't appreciate it, Chris, enough.
Yeah. As always, follow along on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at DumbMarksPod. Email the show at DumbMarksPod@gmail.com. Head on over to ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod. Pick up some merch. We'll give you a live shout out on air. Final thoughts, gentlemen. Anything to wrap up and close the show itself that we either discussed or didn't discuss? Donald, you got some gaming news to wrap up the show with?
Just real quick, 3 gaming things. Horizon Zero Dawn, Sony is remaking it and building it from the ground up to bring it back on PS5. Horizon Zero Dawn was just out 5 years ago for the PS4. So what are they doing? Another money grab. So take it how you want to. Dead Space remake is coming out in January, and they put the price value at $70. So again, another remake you're paying $70 for. And the final thing, somebody hacked the PS5, and they showed like all the intricate stuff in the middle, like, you know, within the system, putting games on there that you can't put on the PS5. So somebody hacked it and was showing it on the internet and that stuff. Don't hack your PS5 because your warranty will be violated.
I got this week was the first Tales from the Territories on Vice, which is from The Rock and Danny Garcia and the creators of Dark Side of the Ring. It's a good first episode. You know, I'm glad they're highlighting the territories, you know, that was pro wrestling before pro wrestling as we know it. So if you want to follow along with that, tune in each week on Vice TV at 10. See more. That was the other thing I was going to bring up was the Mario movie trailer. It dropped.
I didn't watch it.
Trailer's awesome. Looks great. I'm in for it. I saw a lot of people killing Chris Pratt for his voice work of Mario. So that was the only negative feedback that I saw from that trailer was the voice of Mario. So
And it's not Leguizamo?
Nope, it's not Leguizamo.
It ain't a real Mario movie then.
Donald, real quick, what did you think of the Pirates honoring Albert Pujols and Yanier Molina before their last game in major leagues?
I was okay with it. It's the only stars that came through that stadium in the last couple of years, so good for them.
Soft. You don't honor. I don't care how great of a player. Okay, I don't care if it's Ken Griffey Jr. I don't care if it's Willie Mays. I don't care if it's Babe freaking Ruth. You don't honor the man that tormented your franchise for all them years, and pay respects to them. No, after he's done and retired, okay, maybe. But while he's still playing and he's still an active competitor, you don't give a shower of gratitude towards him. I don't know. I hate it in baseball. I hate it in basketball. I hate it. I just hate it across sports. The competitive nature. No, fuck you. I'm not celebrating you. Go kick rocks.
Mariano get a farewell tour.
I don't care. I don't care.
Manny had a farewell tour.
Don't care.
As the Pirates owner, he'd probably be like, "Thank you for bringing more money into my pocket."
No. No. I just no. Absolutely not. Pujols hit 57 of his 703 home runs against the Pirates. 10% came against the Pirates.
Hey, maybe we should have had some better players.
Terrible. Not doing it. Yeah, I just it goes against everything. Me as a competitor growing up playing sports.
That is true.
Like honor them. Talk about them after they're done. But you're going to honor them and give them a customized painting of a base and everything else, and celebrate and wave and cheer with the 200 people that showed up to that game in PNC Park. Like, get out of here.
People were complaining he didn't shake Aaron Judge's hand when he hit his home run.
Now during the game, I'm not doing that. No, because I remember back down in the Little League, whatever. Not toot my horn, but whenever I hit a home run, people put their hands off the 5, like I ain't 5-ing you. We playing the game here.
Say whenever I hit a home run, now if you hit it off me, I didn't shake nobody's hand. Whenever I hit a home run, I didn't shake nobody's hand. Why would I shake your hand if you hit a home run off me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not tipping my cap and saying great job.
You changed the whole narrative.
Thank you for beating me.
Yeah,
put it there.
Wow, you hit my 4-seam fastball a mile. Let me give you a pat on the back. Unbelievable ridiculousness. Trash. Just trash. Makes me hate the Pirates organization even more. No other franchise did that for them. No other franchise.
Again, thank you for bringing me money into my stadium, where I can line my pockets and not give you a team on that field.
And it's like the Phillies. I forget who they beat towards the last game of the year, but whoever they beat to clinch a playoff spot. After the game was over on the Jumbotron, and because they were playing on the road when they won and got in. Afterwards, the Jumbotron had "Congratulations, Philadelphia" on the Jumbotron after the game was over.
No. Oh, Chris, that was all. You think we gave handshakes? That was a good game. That wasn't even real. It was just like you stuck your hand out and just walked by. Somebody hit you here. You wasn't even moving. You was like, okay. Handshake.
I mean, unless there was somebody that I was battling with, and we were going back and forth. And then there became a respect factor throughout the game. Like, all right, you're coming at me and I'm going at you and we're playing our best and everything else. Like, yeah, I'm going to shake your hand in the line and say, good game, way to battle. Like, I look forward to playing you again, like that type of stuff. But just to walk down the line, like, I'm just putting my hand out. Yeah, all right, let me get over here and eat these orange slices.
But once we stepped out that fence, we all cool. We all buddy. Same uniforms on.
That's like in football being pancaked by a lineman. Oh, thank you for just rolling me over, I hope I get you next play.
Well, you really whooped my ass all game long. Like, a hell of a player.
Yeah.
Trash. All right, so after we've ended with some negativity, we'll end the show on some positivity, right?
That's how we are.
This week's quote of the week revolves around work ethic. So work ethic is important because unlike intelligence, athleticism, charisma, or any other natural attribute, it is a choice. Work ethic is important because unlike intelligence, athleticism, charisma, or any other natural attribute, it is a choice.
And if people would know work ethic, abuse that.
So as always, stay grinding, keep the nose down to the grindstone. Any other slogan, phrase you want to go at it, keep working. Hard work does pay off. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dunbar's Podcast. I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. Until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.